to start this meeting. It is now 6 p.m., and I call this special call meeting of the Roma Independent School District Board of Trustees being held this Monday, February 7th, 2022, to order. Let the record show that this meeting was duly posted according to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. The first agenda item is roll call. Board Vice President, Mr. Jaime Escobar.
Present.
Board Secretary, Mrs. Yadira Ibarrera.
Here.
Board Member, Mrs. Clarissa B. Alvarez.
Here.
Board Member, Mrs. Mary Lou G. Cruz.
Here.
Board Member, Mr. Raul P. Moreno, Jr.
Here.
Board Member, Mr. Ray Rodriguez, Jr.
Here.
And myself, Board President, Mr. Ricardo A. Perez, present. Let the record show we have a quorum in attendance at this special call meeting. Agenda item number 2 is public comments. Presenter, District Superintendent, Mr. Carlos Guzman.
We have no public comments at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Guzman. We'll go on to agenda item number 3. This will be closed session, Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.074. Discussion regarding voluntary retirement agreement of Superintendent of Schools and consultation with legal counsel regarding superintendent search process. The time is now 6:01 p.m. and the Roma Independent School District Board of Trustees will go into closed session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.074 to discuss agenda item number 3, discussion regarding voluntary retirement agreement of Superintendent of Schools and consultation with legal counsel regarding superintendent search process. No action will be taken in closed session. We respectfully request that our Roma ISD community in attendance please wait in the auditorium, and those attending virtually to please wait in the virtual waiting room while the board is in closed session. The board is now in closed session.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much.
Ready, Esther? Esther? Okay. The time is now 6:28 PM, and the special call meeting of the Roma Independent School Board of Trustees is back in open session. For the record, there was no action taken in closed session. We'll go to agenda item number 4, discussion, possible action to accept superintendent's resignation. Is there a motion?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? If no further discussion, there is a motion on the floor by trustee Escobar and seconded by trustee Rodriguez to accept the superintendent's resignation as presented in agenda item number 4. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
7-4.
I'm abstaining.
6 in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstention. Is that correct? Motion carries. Agenda item number 5 is discussion possible action to approve voluntary retirement agreement of superintendent. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? If no further discussion, there is a motion on the floor by trustee Barrera and seconded by trustee Rodriguez to approve agenda item number 5 as presented. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
6 in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstention.
Abstain.
Could you read the tab 2, which is the precedence for the record?
The press release. Tab 2, there's a press release. Right here.
And we have to approve that too?
To read it.
Oh, to read it, just a moment, yes. Been requested to read a press release that has been drafted by our legal services. This will give Mr. Guzman an opportunity to use this or make any additions that he so wishes. The press release regarding retirement of superintendent. Roma ISD Superintendent Carlos Guzman submitted his letter of retirement to the Board of Trustees effective on June the 30th, 2022. Mr. Guzman's announcement comes after more than 3 decades of serving and leading the district. In his 8 years at the helm of Roma ISD, Mr. Guzman is credited with raising the district's profile, earning the district recognition as one of the highest academically performing school districts in the state of Texas. In 2019, Mr. Guzman was named Regional Superintendent of the Year for his commitment to excellence in education and passion for motivating students. In 2016, Mr. Guzman was named to the Texas Education Agency's Rural School Support Task Force based on Roma ISD's outstanding achievement in academics, financial management, and willingness to innovate. Mr. Guzman's abilities have been recognized by his peers, earning him the role of UIL Region 15 Chairperson and UIL Area G Chairperson. Under Mr. Guzman's leadership, Roma ISD has earned a variety of state and national accolades, including 2 U.S. Department of Education Blue Ribbon Schools, HEB's Excellence in Education Small School District of the Year, and Texas Honor Roll District. In 2021, the nationally recognized Roma ISD Mariachi Band was showcased as part of President Biden's inauguration activities. Mr. Guzman is a native of Roma, Texas, graduating from Roma High School in 1983 and earning his bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Texas Pan American. Mr. Guzman began working at Roma ISD in 1986 as an English teacher at Roma Junior High School. He was promoted in 1993 to assistant principal, and in 1997 was named the Roma Middle School principal. In 2005, Mr. Guzman was selected to join the district's administrative team as a director of student improvement, which realized positive increases in student test performance under his supervision. In 2014, Mr. Guzman was selected from among 16 candidates as the district superintendent. Board President Ricardo A. Perez praised Mr. Guzman's contributions to the district, stating that Mr. Guzman's legacy of success will have a lasting impact on Roma ISD. The Board of Trustees will immediately begin to search for a superintendent of schools, with the goal to hire Mr. Guzman's replacement prior to Mr. Guzman's last date of employment with the district, which is June the 30th, 2022. The goal of the district is to secure a candidate that will ensure that a high-quality education is available to all children of the best school district in South Texas, Roma ISD. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and help me give Mr. Guzman the recognition he deserves. Mr. Guzman, if you have any words? None? Okay. We will go to agenda item number 6, presentation by TASB Executive Search Services. The presenter will be TASB Director, Mr. Butch Felkner, and also, I believe it's Miss Marion Strauss, yes. So at this time, Mr. Felkner, you have the floor.
Good evening, board members. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Good evening.
Fine, sir.
Thank you.
Good. I'm Butch Felkner with TASB. I've been with TASB now 15 years. And joining me tonight is Dr. Marion Strauss. And Dr. Strauss, you can tell them a little bit about you.
Hi, good to be with you all. I have been with TASB 10 years, and we are both retired superintendents who worked many years in public education. So this is what we do full-time now.
Thank you.
We're happy to be with you, as he said, tonight. Also joining us is Mr. Jack Dameron. Jack, I think I can tell them about you. You were down in the valley for a while.
For all of my lifetime, other than the last 8.5 years, that is true.
Yes, remember, Mr.
Good evening,
Dameron.
everyone. Jack Dameron. I'm one of the field service reps for the Texas Association of School Boards. I was born and raised in the Randy Valley, down in Willacy County, born in Raymondville, lived in Lyford, went to school there at the high school, and I coached, taught, and
recording in progress.
Was administrating also in several different districts. I was superintendent at Lyford. I got got to go back to my hometown and be superintendent there. And my last 7 years was spent at Region 1 Education Service Center, where I was the executive director. And I worked in the ESC for a total of 18 and a half years out of my career. So we served districts from Laredo to Brownsville, including Roma. So it's good to be with the Gladiator group.
Welcome, Mr. Demmer.
Folks, we are here just to go over what we do, our search process. We've been doing this for since we haven't, but our company, TASB, has been doing it since 1988. We have conducted over 800 searches in the state of Texas. More Texas schools entrust their search with us than any other search firm that's out there. And so we're very happy with that. We have a strong record. Just some of the ones that we've done in your area, we did Brownsville, United, Dilley, Catula, some of those, just to name a few. So anyway, I want to go over just real briefly our process and how that works, and I'm going to let Dr. Strauss take it from there.
Okay, so our process begins with a planning meeting where we will have a timeline drawn up, and we will go over that so that everyone can get all of the meetings scheduled on their calendars ahead of actually having the most important meetings, which are the interviews. So we would do the planning meeting first, and we believe that the community is an important piece of the search process. So we would put our online survey on your district's webpage at the very beginning of the search, and all of your constituents, your students, teachers, faculty, staff, and the community, as well as you as board members, can go on to that survey and answer questions so that would give you an idea of what people are actually looking for in the next superintendent. We're gonna ask them what's going well in the district, what their concerns are, and then what are the characteristics that they're looking for in the new superintendent. After we close that, after several weeks, then you would receive a report, the board receives a report that would have all of the information that was submitted in it. And that is basically just good information for you. It's a resource to see what your community is thinking. I'm sure you all already know pretty much what they're thinking, but it's just another resource to help you. During the survey, or during the process, the applications would be open for at least 6 weeks. And we would be gathering all of that information and doing all the background work that we do. And that includes making sure that all of their certifications are in order, and then checking references that may or may not be on their resume. We have people throughout the state of Texas, like Jack, who go into every school district at least once a quarter. And so we have feet on the ground, boots on the ground, to help us get the inside information on candidates that might apply for Roma. Once the deadline is established, after that day, which is usually about 6 weeks into the process, then we would close the applications, and the very next day you would receive the information that includes all of the applicants that have applied for your position. And we think it's important. We are now doing a video piece within our application, so you receive all of the written information, but you will also have a video snippet of all of the candidates answering several questions. And it takes usually 3 to 5 minutes for you to go through that, but it's another resource for you to be able to evaluate the candidates as you see them. After you've had the applications for about a week, we would come back to the district and go through those with you. We ask you to as you're going through them to list your top 6, 7, or 8, and then we come back in and we talk about everyone's top candidates. And I think that's important because sometimes someone sees something that maybe others miss, and it's an opportunity for people to talk about who they think is the best fit for the district. Once we've come in, we set up all the interviews. Our process has 2 interviews. The first one is a 90-minute interview, and you all would select questions from our bank of questions, which is about 100 questions that our attorneys have approved, or you can compose your own. But we would go through that and get all of that information together for you, and then set up the interviews. The second interview is usually the spouse with the candidate, just so you get to meet that part of the family. It doesn't have to be. That's, of course, your decision. But most of our districts like to meet the candidate's family. We're going to have you in charge. If there's something that you want to change, we're going to work with you and get that done. Again, you're going to see all the applicants that apply, and then you're going to select the ones for interview. If you tell Butch, I, and the people that are working with us to pick our top 8 or 10, we will do that and bring those along, but we're still going to talk about those people that you think are the best in your pool. We represent you. We're your association. We're the School Board Association. We represent you. We have access to out-of-state candidates. There is an association of all the school boards throughout the United States. Butch is a past president of the National Association of Superintendent Searchers that is part of all of the school board associations. And we can reach out and find out about anyone throughout the United States. So you're going to get the whole team. You're going to get Butch and I. You will see whenever we meet, and Jack will attend when we screen for candidates. We'll have extra people there. We ask you to sign a confidentiality oath, and that is just so our candidates know that we take confidentiality very seriously. And we want the candidates that have great jobs, that are in great situations. So in order for them to apply, they have to know that it is going to be confidential, and that their names will not be released, or people in their district will not be called until it's time for that to happen. So that's one thing that we ask. And you're going to get 3 hours of board training for the selection of candidates. You also get another 3 hours during our transition session, which is another important piece. Our LDS, K. Douglas, Warren Moore, someone will come into the district at no additional cost, just travel, and do a transition session with you and your new superintendent within the first 90 days of them being on the job. And we think that's very important because it really sets the groundwork for the communication, for those things that are important to sit down and take the time to talk about. I'll let Butch talk about cost and satisfaction. The guarantee?
Yeah, we have a 2-year guarantee. So if the superintendent were to leave for any reason other than, any reason, we will reopen the search for just travel expenses only. There's no fee associated with it at all. And we rarely ever have to use that, so that's a good thing. Most of the time, on the average, our superintendents, we have 92% of our superintendents are on the job after 3 years, and at least 82% on the job after 5 years. So we're real happy with that figure. And the average superintendent in Texas, and I know y'all are beyond the average, which that's a good thing. but the average superintendent in Texas is usually around 3.5 to 4 years. So we want to, our job is that we love the boards that we come and visit with, but we just don't want to come back and see you in 5 or 6 years. We want that superintendent to be there for quite some time. And that's what you want. And we want to get it right on the first time, and that's what you want, and that's what your community is expecting as well. So that's pretty much it. It is Mr. Cruz around there anywhere?
Yeah, right here.
Hi.
Hello.
What did we miss?
Well, just to reiterate, yeah, the confidentiality provision is very key because obviously under the law, everybody's name's considered confidential except for 21 days before the date of the contract is signed. Under the law, the finalist name is releasable. So once you get down to, let's say, top 3, that is still not the finalist. We call them persons of interest. It's very crucial to know the right terminology because I know that some other school districts have gone into some issues with that. The second is cost. It's $7,500 as well, which is in the contract. And the third one, I think you covered, which is the warranty, the 2-year warranty that they have.
2-year guarantee, right.
Guarantee, yeah.
And let me add, thank you, Juan, I appreciate that. Let me add to that includes everything. There's 2 things that it does not include. 2 things are, when you're inviting the candidates back on the second round, which is usually 3 candidates returning back to your district after you selected your 6 on the first round, and then you eliminate 3, and you usually bring 3 back for a second round interview. All of our districts pay for the candidates to travel round trip from their home to the district and back. So that's not included in the fee. The other thing is not included in the fee. If the board or 3 members of the board choose to take a site visit to your candidates that you select at home district, that's not included in the fee. But everything else is inside that. You don't get a fee and then plus expenses or hours or things like that. Everything's inside that one fee, so there's no surprises there.
Any questions from any board member?
Yeah, Mr. Pettis, that's what we have. What can we answer for the board?
Any of my colleagues have any questions for Mr. Faulkner or any of the other representatives? I think we're...
You're muted, so he can't hear you.
They can,
Can't
they
they?
can.
Okay.
I think that your presentation definitely has answered most of our questions. If any of my colleagues do have any other questions, well, they can ask at this time. But I see that most everyone is satisfied with the presentation, sir. I want to thank you and the rest of your colleagues for this presentation here this evening.
If I can just add, I know Mr. Cruz knows of the satisfaction because we've worked with districts that he represents. And I would say, we take that very seriously, that our districts are happy with our process and happy with the service that they receive. And we encourage you to call any of our references that are there that you can and talk to them if you need to. But I know Mr. Cruz can speak to that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, then we'll go on to agenda item number 7, discussion and possible action regarding hiring of TASB ESS to conduct superintendent search, including approval of contract with TASB ESS.
I so move to approve action item number 7.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? If none, there is a motion on the floor by Trustee Escobar and seconded by Trustee Barrera to approve the agenda item number 7, which is the hiring of TASB ESS to conduct superintendent search, including approving the contract with TASB ESS as presented. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
7-4, none opposed. Motion carries. Welcome, welcome aboard, Tasby. Thank you.
I do have a
We
question.
look forward to working with you, and Mr. Cruz, we will be in touch with you as well as Mr. Pettis, and we can get the ball rolling.
Sure, I think you have a question.
No, I mean, it's in general, how soon will the application be open for this process to start?
Did you hear the question about how soon the application process starts?
Ms. Aurora, thank you for that question. That is good. What we will do is tomorrow, we will see, once the contract is signed, all we have to do is switch and the application goes live. And also, we will be working with you and the board on establishing that timeline. The timeline's critical because we want to make sure, because the candidates that are going to apply for your position will want to know when you're going to be interviewing and when the application deadline date is and things like that. So that's going to be key to establish. So we're going to be working with you all to get that timeline worked out and see what we can get, so we can get us down the road. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
One thing that I would encourage Mr. Guzman maybe to send all the members of the board and also, I guess, to Tasby, your job description for your position. That way you all know what the job description is, and there it'll have all of the duties plus all of your requirements for that position. Of course, by law, you know that you can't be a superintendent in the state of Texas without a superintendent certificate. Everything else is kind of something that, that's up to the board. But you should have a job description that I'm sure the board can have.
I have a question.
Sure.
Will the application be placed in posted on the Roma ISD website or TASB website?
I didn't hear the end of
Will the
that.
application be on, the application will be advertised, but it will be on our website. But what we do, Mr. Cruz, is that we put advertisement on Texas ISD, TestNet, as well as our sister organizations around the United States pick up our search as well. And so there's a link inside there that all that candidates have to do is hit that link, and it carries them back into our system. And so it's pretty easy. Most superintendent applicants know where to find those links, and we don't have any trouble about getting candidates in the right place at the right time.
I think everybody goes to texasisd.com, and that's where people that are interested in those positions, usually it says the name of the school district, and they click, and you get takes you to the application process.
Along with her question, I know he said that there's a link wherever the posting is going to be at. Can we have access to the link through our website? Like have it on our website, but if they click on that link, it just directs it to where the posting is going to be at?
On your district's website?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly accommodate that.
Okay.
That's just working with your technology people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will work with that. As well as board members, let me also say that we will be sending a link over to your point of contact, which will have the online survey. And so we'll need to get that up and running in the real near
This
future.
week.
This week.
And we will also be sending you updates that will tell you how many have applied, the number of candidates, and then what their level of experience is. We'll tell you you have this many sitting superintendent or superintendent experienced applicants, this many assistant superintendents, and we'll also tell you how many people have responded to the survey. So we'll be sending you updates on a weekly basis.
Very good. It sounds,
Is this to the school district or to our personal emails?
The question was it to the school district or to the personal emails?
It will be whatever you submit to us. We'll ask Mr. Cruz to get us your email addresses. We usually send it to the secretary at the administrative assistant in the superintendent's office, and then they send it out. Mr. Cruz can do that as well if you want. I know we've sent it to you as well, Juan, and you can send it out to the board.
I'll get the email addresses that the board members prefer, and then I'll just shoot that over to you, and you can just send it directly to their email address.
Okay.
That works just fine.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you very much, Mr. Felkner and Dr. Strauss, Mr. Damron, and I believe it's Mr. Stockstill, is that correct?
Yeah, Craig Stockstill.
There you go, Craig. Thank you so very much.
I want to thank you on behalf of TASB ESS. We're excited. We're looking forward to working with Roma ISD and all you as board members. And one thing we want to close out with, you're in charge of the search. We're here as your consultants to help you. And, we haven't lost the board yet. We've all made it to the end, but we want to make sure that you're comfortable with the process and very happy, and we're excited about working with you. We can answer any questions. Please do not hesitate to get in touch with us.
Thank you so very much for your presentation. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. You have a pleasant evening.
You
Thank
too.
you.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 8 is adjournment. Is there a motion?
I so move.
I'll second it.
There's a motion on the floor by trustee Moreno and seconded by trustee Cruz to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye. Raise your hand. 7-4, none opposed. Motion carries. It is now 6:59 p.m. and this special call meeting of the Roma Independent School District Board of Trustees is adjourned. Thank you all for those of you in attendance and those of you tuning in via the virtual arena with us this evening. Have an amazing rest of the evening and week. Good night.
School email.
School email.
Very much.
Yeah, the school email. Thank you very much.